Hello, and welcome back to going on my sew journey with me. I didn't make a second video quite as quickly as I thought I would. Life just life just kind of happened. You know how that goes. So anyway, I didn't like the first video. If you saw the first video, you were probably left with the impression that I'm a bit of a nut. And I am a bit of a nut, but I'd like to not think quite that nutty. A couple of things with that. One, I don't know how to edit just yet. This is a new hobby for me. Sewing, buying fabrics. So I've had several years experience of sewing, but usually just with cotton and polycottons. So sewing with other materials is new to me. So I'm buying all these different materials and I'm going to be playing with them. I've never sewn anything that fit proper because I never knew how to fit patterns. So that's another thing. I'm tired of wearing clothes that don't fit right. So I am currently working on making a dress form that fits properly so that I can actually make clothes that fit. Instead of, I don't know if you can see this. See my shoulders seam way down here? I didn't make this, but I have to buy clothes or make clothes that are bigger in order to hang right in other places. So there's just a lot of adjustments I need to make because I'm tired of looking frumpy and I'm tired of feeling frumpy. So anyway, and getting back to that first video, I'm a little bit of embarrassed from that first video, and I was tempted to just delete it. But then I decided, well, you know what? Learning how to make YouTube videos is all part of my sew journey. And so that was the first step into the journey. And, it's only going to get better from here. So if you saw the first video and you're back for this one, well, I don't know why you came back, but thank you. It's going to get better though, I promise. So anyway, because I wasn't happy with everything that I forgot and couldn't clearly identify the wool fabrics that I had ordered, we're just gonna kind of redo that one. I've decided never to open packages again in front of people. It just takes too many minutes on the video for you to watch me opening these packages. As I was viewing the video, I thought, wow, that's kind of like watching paint dry. I can't imagine anybody that stayed through the video to the end of me opening up the package. But because I don't know how to edit, I wasn't able to just edit that out. You just kind of get it all. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I think it works better for me to open it up, sort it out, figure out what I have, and then talk about it. So here we are. Without further ado, we're going to review the fabrics from that first video, the wool fabrics. We won't talk about the silk scarves this trip because I want to do a whole thing about scarves, just focus on scarves. But for this one, so first on my list, it's not the wool. I ordered the soft sweatshirt French terry, and now because I've had it stacked all around the wool, it's got wool stuff on it. Let me try to open it up to an area that doesn't have all the wool on it. It came to me pure, like cream. It's a ivory color. Here it is. Here's a better side to it that doesn't have all the wool wool stuff on it. Anyway, what's nice about this is 140 GSM. It's a medium weight, and it's 95% polyester and 5% spandex with a 4-way stretch. Oh, that doesn't feel very, okay. So it's a little stretchy this side. It does qualify for 4-way because it's a little stretchy, but it's a lot stretchy this way. So I got 3 meters of it, and the plan is I want to make some turtlenecks. And I know 3 meters, how many turtlenecks am I going to make? Well, the thing about this color and this material is through the wintertime, you know, I'm probably going to wear it a lot. So there's always going to be one in the wash when I'm going to want to wear another one, right? Because it's going to go with everything. Like, you can't go wrong. If you're dressing up, you're trying to color coordinate, cream color coordinates with everything. You don't even have to think about it. The only thing you have to think about is it too hot to wear this? In the wintertime, the answer is it's perfect weather to wear this. So this one is a no-brainer. And for adding to my new wardrobe. All of my clothes in my wardrobe are just pathetic. So, I'm looking forward to sewing that up. Now, the next thing on the list was the reversible diamond brushed polywool. Reversible diamond brushed polywool. And that's this one. And it is dark gray. Now, if you watch the other video, you'll remember that I had 2 pieces of fabric and I couldn't tell them apart. Like, can you tell these apart? And it's like, I don't know why I couldn't remember what I ordered, but these are very similar. And I really had to take time to study, and really my first clue was looking at the selvage and seeing that there is indeed a difference, slight difference, and looking more closely then, the only difference between this one and the soft chevron brushed suiting was one is casual gray and the other one is dark gray. That's really the only difference. They're both 160 GSM, which is a medium weight, and it took me a long time. It's like, did they send me the same fabric? But I don't know if you can tell or if it's just from the lighting, but if you look, this one is darker than this one. And that's the difference between the 2 fabrics. Okay, so now what am I going to do with these? Well, I'm not going to sew all these up this winter. Oh, and what I wanted to mention about this too is that they're reversible, and one side is really soft. It's brushed, so it's really soft. I'm not going to sew all of these up this winter, but I'll have some left over for next year. I live in the Pacific Northwest on the coast where it's cold and rainy a lot, and I seem to go through coats a lot. And then when it's not rainy but it's just chilly and you just want something like a sweater or a nice jacket, something. I have more coats in my closet than anything else. I have more coats than I have pants. Because you got to have a coat for when it's 60 degrees. But then that's an overkill when you want a coat. I mean, it's not enough. It doesn't keep you warm enough when, it's 40 degrees. And then you got to have that coat for when you go through the cold snap and it's 30 or 20 degrees, right? So and then there's the summertime rain. You got to stay dry, but it's too warm to wear anything other than something to keep you dry, So half my closet is coats. Anyway, I got rid of a lot of those coats, so now only a fourth of my closet is coats. So I have to replace coats with different coats for different times of the year, different uses, not to mention what you want to just put on in the house to stay warm. In addition to that, my other plan for some of this wool is to make myself some full circle skirts. I don't wear skirts usually when I go out and about, but my idea is that now that I'm getting older, it seems like the last few years my knees are getting colder in the wintertime. My knees are always cold in the winter. And so I'm thinking, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make myself a skirt to wear over my pants or pajamas, whatever, so that whether I'm sitting down or walking around the house, I have like a blanket over my skirt. Like these are going to be a wool blanket to keep my legs warm. Yeah, I could just, yes, I do have blankets on my in my chair, in every chair I have. So no matter what chair I sit in, I could just put a blanket over my legs. But you know, that looks kind of messy after a while. You know, it's just a messy look. So I just think, you know, I'll just use a skirt for a blanket and stay warm that way. And then I don't have all these blankets laying around all over the living room. So anyway, moving along, we have, okay, quality heavy brushed polywool. Now, I'm a little confused. I don't know if they sent me the wrong thing because this doesn't look printed. And the description is printed. But anyway, I'm almost positive this is the one they're describing. It is because it's the heaviest weight one I have, and this is described as 210 GSM. So this one here is probably it. Also, and I suspect maybe they sent me a substitute. Maybe they ran out of whatever this is described as, and it was black and cream, so I think they just sent me a black and cream, or you know, black and white kind of substitute. And when I smell this, it smells more woolly. So all of these were advertised as 50% cotton and 50% polyester. I suspect this has a higher amount of wool in it. And this might be my first skirt slash knee blanket project. So we'll set that aside. And then we have the, let me see, reversible. I kind of went out of order now. Chevron. Oh, and all these fabrics are 55 inches wide. So, you know, a little bit goes a long way when they're wide like that. This is Chevron suiting material, and casual gray 160 GSM. And by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about GSM, well, I don't 100% know what I'm talking about either. But what I figured out, I mean, GSM stands for grams per square meter. And they weigh the fabric out and figure out grams per square meter. I think that's what GSM stands for, if I remember right. So I don't understand it completely, but what I do know is they use some method of weighing it. And when you order fabric online, it's really important to look at the GSM number and figure out if this is a heavyweight, a medium weight, lightweight, you know, so you get some idea. Because I did, you know, I ordered the medium weights you know, was the 160 GSM, but I ordered one heavyweight of the 210 because I wanted one heavier. So that's where, you know, that's where you're going to know you're getting a heavier weight. And you can just, usually under the description of the fabric, when they say the GSM, they'll also say if it's heavier or lightweight. So anyway, you can Google it and they'll tell you, you know, if you have any questions on the number for the GSM and you Google it, you know, is this lightweight, heavyweight? If you're not sure, till you kind of figure that out. And that's about as much as I know. I know enough about GSMs to understand the weight of the fabric, basically, for what I'm looking for to order it online. Okay, chevron. If you're not familiar with the chevron design, think of the Chevron gas station. And the Chevron gas station logo has two lines that come like this. You know, just like the chevron of military, you know, military chevrons that show rank. Okay, so it's a V. Two V's that, you know, Chevron station, that's in their logo. So when you order fabric that advertises a chevron, you're going to get, I hope you can see that. Let me get a little closer because I'm not seeing it in the reflection of the camera. Okay, see, you're going to see all those V's in there lined up on top of each other. Okay, so that's chevron. And it is, with this one, it's not brushed or soft on the inside, and it's called chevron suiting. Well, it says it's brushed, but it must be brushed to some degree, but not to the point that it feels flannelly, you know, like the others. But yeah, it's not stiff. It's not stiff and hard, but chevron suiting. So this is one that will make like a nice blazer for that weather when it's too warm to wear a coat, but too cold to not wear one. This will be a good one for a blazer. And then this is my wild pantsuit one, wool pantsuit that I'm going to make, that I mentioned in the last video. So, you know, it'll be fun and easy. It completely goes out of my personality, out of my comfort zone. I'm going to have to force myself to wear this in public after I make it. But I'm determined to just shake things up a little bit in my life. You know, I'm retired, so shaking things up in my life means wearing a color of fabric I wouldn't normally wear, right? You know, you do what you gotta do to excite your life. And then this one that, you know, is the ribbed brush polywool 160 GSM. Again, oh, this one I forgot to mention. This one is only 150. This is the lightest weight of all of them. It's still considered a medium weight, but it's 150. And this one was 160. And, you know, I don't know that I could tell. Well, yeah, this does feel slightly thinner. Of course, it could just be my imagination now, the power of suggestion. This one is lighter, you know, so I'm thinking I feel a little lighter, because there really isn't much difference, really, is there, between 150 and 160? So, and then we've got the ribbed brush polywool beige 160 GSM, and this is, I don't know. should I make a pair of pants with these? Wool pants to stay warm on a really, if I have to go out on a really, really cold day. I don't know. Tell me in the comments section what you think. So anyway, you probably noticed all of these other fabrics underneath. That is, I've got that out and organized for another fabric haul video. I've been going crazy buying fabric. I haven't sewn any up yet. I'm buying fabric, all kinds of different fabrics that I wouldn't normally use to just mix things up in my life. And, you know, I'm gonna learn how to sew fabrics I'm not familiar with. And so my first few videos or so is going to be about fabric hauls from different companies. Now, who I got the polywool from is 50% polyester, 50% wool, was from Pound A Metre. And I'll let you know where I got the fabric from and what I paid for it. And that way, if you're interested, you know where to go online to get it. And so let me go over the price here. And I'm sorry if it seems like I'm jumping around, you know, one thing another. I'm kind of bouncing around because I'm just not used to making YouTube videos. It's all new to me. So, you know, I'll get better at that as my brain gets used to talking to a camera. Then it'll just be second nature to talk in front of the camera. So in this order, I also ordered those scarves that we'll go over when I do a scarf video. But so I subtracted the cost of the scarves from this order to do my math to figure out how much money I paid per meter. Now, when you look at, like, most of these I paid, okay, because I bought it from a company in the UK, Pound A Metre. It was listed by pounds. So I paid $12 per meter for most of these fabrics. There were two fabrics that I paid 10 pounds per meter for. Well, I live in the United States. So now, to translate that to United States dollars, what did I really pay? So it came to, the price was, okay, okay, back up. I didn't pay $10, 10 pounds per meter. I paid 10 pounds per 3 meters, or 12 pounds per 3 meters, okay? So then you have to multiply that by 1.24 to find out what I paid in American dollars. What did I really pay? Or what did they really charge? So the French terry, the white French terry, and the ribbed brushed polywool, that was this one. Those I paid in American dollars $12.40 for 3 meters each. You divide that up, and it was $4.13 American dollars, $4.13 per meter. And for those of you that don't know, a meter is almost the same size as a yard. A meter is 39 point something inches, and a yard is 36 inches. So you're getting 3 inches more in a meter. So when I say meter, if you're from the United States, it's basically a yard. So $4.13 per meter for the French terry and this this ribbed polywool. And then all the rest of the fabric I paid $14.88 per 3 meters, which came out to $4.96 per meter. But then there was this clearance discount where I typed in discount 15 code, and so they reduced 15% on the clearance sale, which means that I got $19.39 discount from my order. Significant savings. And then, I mean, 15% doesn't sound like much, but when you put in a pretty big order, you know, it adds up. And then shipping came out to $43.38, American money, translating that to American money. So when I look at how much, excuse me, when I look at how much money I spent on average per meter for this fabric, I don't just calculate, you know, what it is per meter, you know, just straight across. I add shipping, because what did this fabric really cost me after I ordered it and paid for it, and then paid for shipping to get it to my house? So from the time I ordered it to the time it was delivered to my front door, what did I really pay? And for this particular fabric, and I called out the wrong numbers on the first video. I had the numbers all wrong. I reworked the math. So with this, it averaged $5.76 per meter for polywool fabric. Now, if you go online and search for these fabrics online, you're usually going to pay a lot more, a whole lot more than that. And so I just thought I'd share that with you. And the reason that I'm sharing this, you know, in addition to sharing any knowledge that I might have about sewing, I might put out questions if I'm having a hard time figuring something out, and you can put in your comments. You know, you can teach me, I can teach you, we'll share information with each other, and that's, you know, that's how the world gets better, right? The sewing world. So, yeah, we'll just travel this journey, this sewing journey together, and learn from each other. And I was pretty excited. I didn't even know this company existed, but I was watching another YouTube video, and I wish I could remember her name to give her credit, but she was doing a fabric haul review from Pound A Metre. And I was so glad she shared that information on YouTube, because I didn't even know this company existed. And going to their website and shopping for fabric is like going to the candy store. You know, like you might only have, well, I'm at the age where I used to go to the candy store with a dime. So you might only have a dime, but are you going to buy that big chocolate candy bar, or are you going to buy a small bag of penny candy? And meanwhile, you're looking at all the other candy and you're enjoying seeing the other candy, even though you know you're not going to buy all the other candy. It's just a lot of fun to look at all the other candy. So this is my adult version of the candy store. So anyway, one of my first projects that I'm going to sew is adult bibs for Christmas presents for our local senior citizens assisted living. And I'm going to sew one for myself for in the car. It doesn't look like a bib, the one I'm going to sew. It doesn't look like a bib at all. So I could wear it in the car. And you know how, like, when you start the morning and you dressed up pretty good to go out for the day, and then first thing you do is you dribble a little bit of coffee you spill a little bit of coffee down the front of your shirt. Sure, you wipe it up with a napkin, but that spot is going to be there all day. Like, you're starting out the whole day with that coffee stain on the front of your shirt. So, in addition to sewing adult bibs for the seniors in that home, I'm going to be sewing at least one, maybe two for myself, just so that to protect my own clothing when I head out in the morning to go somewhere and I'm drinking a cup of coffee. If I spill something, when I get there, I can take off my bib and my shirt's still going to look pretty good. But if anyone looks in my window, it's not going to look like I'm wearing a bib. So that'll be my first project. But bear with me because I've got a few more fabric haul videos to do. So I can, because all this fabric is out on my table where I would normally, be cutting and sewing, but I can't cut and sew until I do the fabric haul videos and get the fabric put away in the closet and just keep the fabric out that I'm gonna make those bibs with. So, see you soon. And thank you for joining me on this sewing journey. I look forward to seeing you next for Sew Journey.